Welcome home, neighbors.
Welcome home, neighbors.
Hello, neighbors.
We're listening from
Arizona,
Florida,
Maryland, New York, New Jersey,
Minneapolis,
California,
Utah,
Michigan.
Iowa,
Massachusetts,
Georgia,
Canada,
Our home resort is
Animal Kingdom,
Polynesian,
Bay Lake Tower,
Old Key West,
Riviera,
Boardwalk,
Alani Resort,
Hilton Head,
Boulder Ridge, Copper Creek,
Grand Floridian,
Saratoga Springs,
Beach Club.
and Wilderness Lodge.
And you're listening to
You're listening
You're listening to
my
DVC
Points.
Welcome home, neighbors, to episode 95 of Community Hall Live Podcast. My name is Chad Pennycup, and I'm going to be your host tonight. And I want to start off before I get into anything else with a little disclaimer about tonight's show. Here at My DVC Points, we are normally super fans of Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, pretty much every product they come out with. We're in line saying, shut up and take my money, because we are super fans of this company, of this product. But in tonight's episode, we're getting into a touchy subject that has been in the back of a lot of members' minds. And so before we get into tonight's show, it's about losing that loving feeling with DVC. And if your family's in the situation where you're losing that loving feeling about DVC, we highly suggest you contact our show sponsors over at dvcresalemarket.com and let them know you could be considering selling your contract. I've had people give me some really great feedback on, they'll help you determine, is it time to sell this contract? Is it time not to? Should you hold on to it for a while? What would really truly make sense for your family? And of course, if you need to list the contract, that's a service that they can provide as well. If you just need to rent for a while, they can connect you over with somebody over at DVC Rental Store and let you punt for a while. But the bottom line of it is super fans and members, a lot of us are missing that loving feeling. And it does tie in with our sponsors, because when you get that and it is time to move on and transition in life, we've got some great team members there that can help you out over at World of DVC. So let's bring in our co-host tonight to talk about this question of unfavorable attendance mix. And I'm going to welcome back to the show our normal live producer, Gina. How you doing tonight, Gina?
Hi, I'm good. I'm feeling a little unfavorable attendance mix. So I'm sporting my unfavorableness as I wear my Club 33 ears.
Because we're super fans, right?
I still am giving them my money.
Still giving them your money as well. Well, you know, this last week I added a dino sipper from Lincoln riding Velocicoaster for the first time. So a little bit more of my money is headed towards Universal these days, which DVC Rental Store has got a phenomenal swap program. And you can trade points and get over there as well. So it's all coming like back into our content tonight, full circle as well. And so let's add our regular co-host to the show tonight, Miss Marianne. How you doing tonight, Marianne?
Hi, guys. I'm great. It's so nice to see everybody and to see everybody in our audience. Great to see y'all. I'm so sorry to announce that I'm officially unfavorable.
You're unfavorable as well.
I am unfavorable, but unfortunately, I'm the only one in my family that's unfavorable. So that makes it really hard to go to Disney World.
I'm telling you. So, Gina, why don't you bring us up to speed on the earnings recap call from just about 2 weeks ago that this came out, and why it's like really just a sticking point for those of us that are fans.
So word for word, Bob Chapek said that guest spending growth was due to an increase in average per capita ticket revenue and higher daily hotel room rates. Just take that for 1 second. The increase in average per capita ticket revenue was due to the introduction of Genie Plus and Lightning Lane in the first quarter of the fiscal year, and a reduced impact from promos at Walt Disney World, partially offset by an unfavorable attendance mix at Disneyland Resort, end quote. So basically, he said, everybody's spending money except for you annual pass holders and you non-hotel guests. That hits me hard in both. It kicks me in both places. It
Because
kicks
as
us off.
DVC members, we bought it already. We're paying the dues to maintain it. We're like not hotel guests
We're
anymore.
not
I
hotel
was
guests.
going to say, he doesn't consider us hotel guests, does
Nope.
he? Because we aren't paying $700 a night.
Yeah. And that's where the money is in the hotel revenue. That's what he said. And the daily tickets, not annual passes and not DVC owners. So I'm the worst guy for him. And I'm childless millennial. So I am the worst customer for him.
Yeah, all of your money goes to the mouse because you don't have to spend it on soccer and school uniforms. I'm just saying. I mean, geez Louise. Take a deep breath.
So that's what
It does lead to this question. We haven't had annual pass sales in Walt Disney World for coming up on a year now. They were briefly sold for a month or two, and then they got yanked back.
Yeah.
And with us out having annual passes as available to us not staying in hotel guests, it begs the question, Bob, are DVC members unfavorable attendance? Do you really want us here or not? Like,
well, what did he say in the first sentence? Per capita revenue and higher daily hotel room rates.
It's not sitting really well. And it's not the annual pass thing. It's like DVC executives. Do you not get that the annual pass is the gateway drug to add-on-itis? Okay. The way this thing works is you give us a very small discount on an annual pass, or you let us buy one tier down. And then we, in order to get the most value out of our timeshares, come back 2-3 times a year. And then, oh, well, I'm out of points, but I still want to keep coming back 2 or 3 times a year. I guess I need more points. So then we're knocking on DVC's door saying, hey, take my money, sell me more points.
And you know what? I want to be back in 4 weeks. There's no time to buy a resale contract. I'm in a hurry. DVC, I'll go ahead and pay full price for those tickets or for those points. So I can go right now because this is when I want to be there for that party.
And you can't buy an annual pass as a resale only member. You have to have that unlocked through purchasing a minimum number of points direct. So it's kind of like we're in this crosshair and we're feeling it going, wait a minute, do you really want us and do you really want our money? And it's getting to the point where it's really starting to grind on some people. And like I said, normally we are super fans of a show. We will argue whether Space Mountain, Splash Mountain, or Big Thunder Mountain is the bigger one.
I'm spending money on stuff left, right, and sideways.
As if I don't have a ton of merch in my background.
Right.
Y'all are rocking some beautiful 33 ears tonight.
I'm like, my art that's framed, where is it? My art that's framed from Haunted Mansion that was not inexpensive.
Okay, so everybody's seen pictures of Katie at the parks, right? Katie she was born with a tumor on her scalp, so she always has to wear a hat at the parks. We don't come home from Disney without buying 3 new hats every single trip. Basically need a suitcase for our hats at this point going to Disney World because we wear some. Okay, a baseball cap at Disney World, people, it's $29.99 plus tax. And half the time Katie's off buying it herself, so I'm not there with a merch discount for her because she isn't unfavorable anymore. And so she buys 3 full price hats before I can say, whoa, stop, let me, and I'm sorry. And I guess my biggest annoyance is we all put out a significant chunk of money to own that doorknob or that little piece of carpet or that tile in that hotel room. And Disney World would not have built nearly the amount of deluxe resorts that it has built in the last 15 years without DVC. There would be no Riviera Resort without DVC.
Well, the reality of it is they converted a Grand Flow room that they couldn't sell for cash rates to DVC because our occupancy is 98%. So
exactly.
it's like we're there, we're filling it up.
No sense.
And as Carol points out here in the comments, not to mention all the spending money on meals without a meal plan.
I know that some of our community go, and they do a great job of ordering groceries and cooking meals for their families because you have that ability in a DVC resort. I'm sorry, I am on vacation. I am not cooking 3 meals a day for my family. They're lucky if they get a granola bar on the way out the door in the morning before we run to the park.
Well, I mean, look at all the food review shows. Just this last week, we posted an episode on Mouse Dining on how to book the hard to get ADRs.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about it's part of the Disney experience, the food, the snacks, it's not like we're not there debating the restaurants and picking out our advance reservations days in advance. Do some of us come back in and order groceries and maybe hit breakfast in there? Yes, but we're getting priced out of eating 3 meals a day at Disney.
Yeah, pull up the next 2 comments. They're perfect. They perfectly coincide with what we're talking about. First, Nick.
So, and Nick is saying, we bought respect for 50 years, not 1 fiscal quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we are the best ambassadors of the company.
Exactly. It's like there's no forethought. There is no filter. And what in the world? Disney PR, you must be digging holes and hiding in them when he says things like this. Because your very best advertising has nothing to do with commercials you run on TV. It has to do with me, the preschool teacher who everybody knows goes to Disney World and asks me every year. I have a whole new crop of students with a whole new crop of moms who go, you really like Disney. What should we do and how should we do it? And I look at them and go, well, I mean, you can go and you can stay at the Holiday Inn, but I think you'll have a much better time if you stay on property. And if you'll do this, if you'll do that. I'm not dissuading people from going. I'm upselling people all the time of all the things.
I convinced our custodian to renew his annual pass because once it's gone, it's gone. So I said, you need to renew that thing because what happens if you want to go and you can't ever go again because they're forcing you to repurchase this thing. Anyway.
Yeah. Let's see. Evelyn comes back in, and just so we don't miss this comment, she goes, I let my annual pass go as much being taken away.
Mm-hmm.
And they bought military tickets instead. And instead of going multiple times a year, multiple days, multiple deals and meals in the restaurant, she's like, I'm down to once a year.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's true.
And Tony is saying when we had an annual pass, we would stay, go to the parks, and spend. And we're now limiting parks and looking for off-property entertainment.
Well, don't you have a good off-property entertainment down the street, Chad? Don't you have better entertainment now?
Yeah, Universal is kind of off the charts, and you can do the DVC swaps over at DVC Rental Store now.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, SeaWorld's right up the road. My family went to Gatorland on their last visit.
Oh, good.
I was stuck at quarantining in the house at the time with COVID, so I didn't get to partake in Gatorland, and I really wanted to do that with them, but they promised they'd take me when they come back again. And because I don't want to do it without them, right? It's kind of a fun thing here.
And Disney better be scared because Universal is opening a 5th gate. And when
that's what I keep saying.
And when they open their next gate, and it's Super Nintendo Land and stuff that, I mean, it's hard enough to talk my team into spending time at Disney when they can go to Universal and ride some really killer rides. Not that Disney doesn't have killer rides, but Universal's thrill rides are just a notch above what Disney has.
And they treat their pass holders with respect and they love them. In California, you get to park close. In California, you get to go, you get those access passes.
Look,
Oh, yeah.
Lincoln Pennycuff, Universal annual pass.
Mm-hmm.
They would sell my kid an annual pass.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? We get valet parking with this.
Yep. Yeah. You get those fast lanes or whatever. You get to go to the front.
We go, we get fast pass service after 4 with this pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
They treat their pass holders with respect. Same here. Same in California.
And instead, what do we get? We get an earnings call saying, well, right now we're riding the wave of pent up demand. Well, what are you going to do after that? Oh, you know, all those people we've been kicking that are annual pass holders and we just called unfavorable. Well, we'll throw them out some incentives and get them to come back.
It's exactly what they think they're going to do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Epic Universe is coming, Disney. I am really curious as to what their response is going to be at D23. They better have some plans.
They better bring it.
They better have something.
They better
Because
bring it.
Nintendo World, How to
Look
Train Your
out.
Dragon, a third aspect of Wizarding World is coming in.
Oh, wow. We're not getting that. We're just getting Nintendo. But
Yeah.
hey, it's good for us.
Yeah, it's gonna be epic over there. No pun
Yes.
intended.
Mhm.
And that's kind of where we're at with this. And it's kind of like we, the loyal fans, are going, I would have never, ever, ever like dreamt of going to Universal if it wasn't for the fact that I couldn't get my family annual passes.
Mhm.
It's
Exactly.
yeah. Okay, let's come back in and pick up
Yeah.
some of the other
We got a lot
listener
of comments.
comments here as well, because I know we've hit something, and I know this is like resonating out there with other people. And Tommy's saying cooking in the rooms, they're going for 10 days soon, and we're planning on cooking 2 meals
Right.
in 10 days.
And where are you eating? You're going to eat at Disney Springs. You're going to eat in the parks. You're going to be eating at Disney properties. You're not going to go off property, drive your car somewhere else to get food.
Granted, my children might prefer it if we went to Olive Garden sometimes.
Yeah.
And I know that Tom's pocketbook would prefer if we drove just a hair off property to the Olive Garden.
But you're not. But
But
you're
we're
not going
not.
to. Yeah.
Actually, I don't know, though. Because, see, since they took my Magical Express away,
You've got to have a car now.
I've got to
Right.
have a car. Before, they had me trapped. They aren't going to have me trapped anymore.
True.
Yeah, well, I was a little late tonight because I was reviewing a new Brother Jimmy's barbecue joint that's right there at Icon Park, right at the big circle
Mhm.
that you see,
Yeah.
and with some really, really good food and very reasonably priced.
Mhm.
So hold on
There's
for that review. That'll be coming out on one of our shows soon. And we're going to start venturing off property a little bit with some off property meals to just kind of go along with this. I know Ford's Garage, there's one in
Mhm.
every direction from Disney World,
Yep.
you know, east, west, and south. Phenomenal food there. Maybe it's the Motor City guy in me talking, but I have a great time every time I go there. So yeah, Disney, it's you're doing this to yourself, okay?
Exactly.
And Kathy is saying, I would think we spend as much per day as most hotel guests in food and extras. I know
Mhm.
so many people who say that they wouldn't eat at the parks as it was too expensive during their one-time trip.
Ding, ding. Yes, Kathy, I agree. And we're the ones who buy all the special merchandise. Oh, Halloween's coming. Guess who needs the Hocus Pocus spirit jersey? Guess who needs the Disneyland spirit jersey? Guess, it's ridiculous. Anyway.
Well, not
Yeah.
only that, but Kathy's right. Those first-time people, they also aren't booking the sit-down restaurants.
Right.
They're not doing the big-ticket meals because when they see the price on what it is to eat in the castle with Cinderella,
Oh, no way.
they go,
Yeah.
what? And, I'm not doing that. And so they're the ones eating $7 quick service. Come on,
Mhm.
Disney. They're the ones sharing kids' meals. They're not.
Yeah. I know. And we haven't even talked about Genie Plus yet. Don't get me started on that nightmare.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm with you, Mike. Bob can go
Yes.
pound sand.
Yep.
And this is a great point that Ron makes here. And we touched on it a little bit earlier, that no one sells Disney Magic better than AP and DVC holders. We actually buy into it with real money,
Mm-hmm.
real consistent money year after year after year. And what they're doing is very short-sighted. You guys
100%.
are slapping the base that keeps you operated. When COVID opened back up, who was there? Your DVC members and your AP holders.
Day 1, day 2.
Yeah. So Tim McDonald is saying that people ask him all the time about Disney and what should they do. And because we purchased DVC 2 to 3 years ago, and we have an AP, and they're going to be renewing it because they don't want to lose it. And we think the APs are going to be gold.
They are.
So But yeah, some other conversations with Tim that I've had is people ask us all the time, how can we afford to go to Disney?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can kind of afford it because of the DVC that we bought in the annual passes.
Mhm.
Right? That frees up a lot of our budget for merch and meals because those big ticket items are gone.
Yeah. What I think he's going to see in this December, after we're all blocked, Chapek's going to see a decline because I'm not going for those 10 days. I'm not buying any holiday merch because I'm not going to be there. I'm not going for New Year's. I'm not buying my New Year's pin. I'm going for candlelight and that's it. I'm not going in December. I'm going one time for candlelight.
Yeah. Yeah. Bev makes this really great point that the promenade at Margaritaville on 192 is close and also fun too. And there's a Ford's Garage down there. There's a chain that Gene Simmons owns called Rockin' Brew down there as well. And some really, really, really good options all around it. We're getting into what's called the magical month or something like that here in October, where all of the restaurants are offering $40 prefixed menus.
Oh, nice.
And I plan on hitting as many of those as I possibly can for podcast reviews as well to just get some more off-property content there. And so USC Greg says they don't offer magic keys and we're coming down for Oogie Boogie Bash. So we're going to buy Universal passes.
Perfect. And you can, right now it's buy the day and you get 2023 included. So that's a great deal. I don't know if it's SoCal though. It might be SoCal. I'm not sure. Double check on me.
Okay.
I know it's a promo, but I don't know if it's SoCal or not. So
I know Universal here in Orlando every now and then offers buy an annual pass and get 15 months for the price of 12. And that's when I picked up mine. Right.
Yeah, I'll get mine when they say buy a day, get 20 right now. Buy the day, get 2023 included.
Yeah.
You can't beat it.
And then Mike is commenting that the Universal Orlando Express Pass after 4 is money.
Oh, yeah.
It is just glorious. It is old school Disney with fast passes, with no planning, no park reservations, none of that stuff. You just show up and you can scan your pass and get into a fast pass line once per day, per ride.
Yeah,
okay.
That's amazing.
Per ride. You can't do the same ride twice. Okay. But there's so many options there. You don't have to do the same ride twice.
No, which is
and the only thing that it doesn't work on is Hagrid's and Velocicoaster.
That's okay.
That's okay. Velocicoaster's been about 40 minutes here recently. It's not been bad. And it's a phenomenal ride. It's the same thing with Hagrid's.
And soon enough, those will be on Express Pass too.
Right.
Because
it's just the newest thing.
Because Universal is building and building and building and building and building.
But hey, we've been working on Tron for 5 years now. So
maybe it'll open in 2024.
And it's a copy of Tron in another place. It's not even original.
It's not new. It's not a new thing.
So
yep. And Tony Miller is saying Portillo's as well.
Another good restaurant.
Yeah. And
we don't have those here.
Carol is saying that they forgot DVC helped build the deluxe resort hotels and they rent those rooms for cash at 80%. Only 20% of the rooms are points and we still pay dues for all of the upkeep. So DVC does pay dues on the rooms that they own, Carol, but it's 60 days out. If a member has not booked those rooms, DVC turns it over to their travel agents and Disney sells those rooms for cash, of which they keep the lion's share of the money. And that's the way that works. We get like the first 2% of our annual maintenance. And then anything after that, Disney keeps 100% of. So yeah, they make a ton of money off DVC members, tons and tons and tons. And Evelyn saying we went to a really great German restaurant in Sanford last year.
Oh, nice.
And as well. Yep. And then just some other comments that are on point. Caleb says, I was in a DVC spending money 20 days before the parks reopened. Yep. And Rob is saying they don't want people getting Amazon Fresh deliveries cooking in their villa kitchens. But that's part of what they sold us, right? That's an option we have.
Right,
Okay.
right. It's a different company now, because when Mike Eisner built that, he wanted families to come year after year. It's a different game now. Yeah.
Yeah. And Rob is saying they're focused on the annual revenue per unit or per
Yeah.
family that comes. And
Mhm.
Mike is pointing out that the September thing is called magical
Ooh,
dining.
nice. Very nice.
So Tommy's saying that, his response, instead of every year trips, I plan every other year with banking points because they just can't afford the park tickets every year.
Right.
So,
Or you do Mary Ann's plan, you stay in your DVC resort and you take your money elsewhere. You can afford Universal.
I have no. I mean, sure, I could do the swap, and I could stay at Universal. But if my family's going to spend 3, 4, 5, 6 days at Universal Park, I don't need Express Pass. We'll have plenty of time. We'll have plenty of time. So we will stay at Saratoga and enjoy our paddock pool and enjoy our big comfy rooms, and get up and go over to Universal for a few hours every day and come back and cook in our kitchen, and because we'll have a car and we'll be going by the grocery store and eat off property, and maybe we'll just use our DVC the way it was sold to me. I'm only buying a room.
yeah, that's true.
Maybe that's what they want.
Yeah.
Well, Rob is pointing out from the earnings calls that we've heard that they want more revenue out of fewer people in the park. And the big spenders don't spend as much as when the parks are overcrowded. I mean, this last week, they had a limit on rides over at Magic Kingdom on a day where there was Mickey's Not So Scary going on in the park. And every ride was 20 minutes. Space, Splash. You could have shot a cannon through that park. And you could not get park reservations with on-site tickets. They were forcing people to other parks that day. I could not figure out for the life of me. For those of us with annual passes, it was all wide open. But my friend's family wanted to go to Hollywood 2 days. Nope, couldn't happen.
And
It was the weirdest thing.
That is weird. And then, the big spenders, they're going to Club 33 and they're not going on any rides. They're spending their money on their food. The big spenders are a different class of people. They're not spending money anyway. I mean, they are spending money, but it's not on the merch. It's not on anyway.
Yeah.
It's
Ron is saying that
thing.
I also think that they neglect to remember how many annual pass holders are out of state and travel ready to spend stacks of money multiple times per year as well. Call me stupid, but that sounds pretty favorable to me if I were a CEO.
Yeah, I'm not spending the money on tickets. So guess what I'm spending the money on?
These very expensive
All
ears.
the crap that I need a second suitcase just to take
very
the crap
expensive.
back and forth with me.
This is $35. I'm like, this is a popcorn bucket. $35. It's expensive.
Yeah, and how many of those did you pick up for everybody this year, Gina?
4.
Yeah. So we have 5 buckets over here to my IKEA bucket full of magic bands, because we have so many magic bands. We also have the $45 specialty magic bands from every festival that we go to. I pick
Those
up
are
one.
cheap.
These ones never leave their boxes
Mint in package.
because I wanted to keep them nice. Come on, Disney.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me.
Well, I think this is the comment of the night. And
For sure, Tina.
yeah. Rakes Tina says Bob Chapek is very unfavorable.
He is.
And that's what a lot of us fans are feeling but the question is like, what do you do about it? And I keep coming back to Universal is there. SeaWorld is there. maybe we rent our points out and let a family that they deem favorable come in,
Right.
and we wait till, this particular season of life passes. And I know Bob just got his contract renewed, but from what I'm told here into the CEO executive community, you really don't not review somebody until you have a replacement lined up and ready to go. That's kind of it. So hopefully the shareholders and the board is looking for a replacement is the only thing I can say.
Well, I read it. Oh, go ahead, Marianne.
Well, this is the thing. I think all things are cyclical. I really do. And I believe that there are people out there who are just like Michael Eisner, who have that dream that families can come back year after year after year and enjoy Disney. And they'll come back. That will come back. It'll happen again. That this is just, I think, short-sighted, just like a boomerang effect from the financial loss of COVID. And they are trying everything they can to make all the money back that they've lost.
But the parks are making record profits.
They are.
But
they
I
are.
read an article that said
Disney Plus is not.
And I read an article that said this is not the culture of Disney. This is not the cast members. This is not aimed towards cast members at all. I love and respect all my cast members. They love us, respect us. It's a mutual thing. They always are talking about they love coming to Disney. It is just these top tier people who just they're short-sighted. They don't see the culture of Disney. They don't see the families. They don't see the family aspect that we've created.
Yeah, we've got some other great comments here. So Bev is pointing out that the SeaWorld pass is so cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Top pass at SeaWorld, like $439.
It's amazing.
And you get 6 bring a friend tickets throughout the year. They constantly do a annual pass holder bring a friend month.
SeaWorld gives teachers a free annual pass, and then I get to bring a friends with my free annual pass.
Yeah.
They love teachers. Yeah. SeaWorld's great.
Yeah, SeaWorld really takes great care of their annual pass holders, but their strategy is really different. Their strategy is, hey, we're going to sell you a pass cheap, and then we're going to do all of these promotions to get you to come use it. Because they know when you come into the park, you're eating, you're drinking, you're buying merch, you're buying quick queue over there, you're spending more money. So they want you to have a reasonably priced annual pass. And then they also give you free money a lot of times as an annual pass holder to come in there too.
That meal plan's amazing. I love their meal. They have a great meal plan, just like Knott's. They have a really good meal plan.
And let's be honest, I'm not going into any theme park with my family without having a Make Me a Better Mommy drink. And those Make Me a Better Mommy drinks are pricey. They're making money hand over fist. Every one of those, every single one of those they're selling.
And SeaWorld has the mug, so you get refills for like half off.
Yeah. Well, Universal has a refillable mug program as well. It's Disney parks, no such luck.
Yeah. SeaWorld has the Make a Mommy Better drink half off if you buy the big one.
Yeah.
SeaWorld's going to be on the list next June, people.
California
SeaWorld is on the list.
Again, SeaWorld San Diego. I don't know about Florida. SeaWorld San Diego offers the big drink.
We'll figure it out.
Evelyn's saying that she hasn't even received the new Magic Bands they ordered the day after they came out.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I know my Digital Plus $50 failure band was 2-3 weeks late, and which is shocking. But don't buy the new Magic Bands. They're not worth the money. They're very hard to use.
Oh,
as well.
I can talk about that being a piece of junk. I did that too.
Yeah. But again, we're super fans, so we bought it. Right?
I bought it.
Of course we did.
Exactly.
Right? Just hook, line, and sinker.
Take my money, Bob Chapek. Just take it, even though I'm unfavorable.
Yeah. Now, Emily has a really good point here. And she's saying, why don't they stop offending everyone and attach a spending requirement to your renewal cost?
I love it.
They're clearly tracking spending, so that couldn't be that hard.
No.
Do you know what, Emily? I thought about this last week, and I thought the really good thing to do was, instead of offering annual pass discounts to come back in and track what we spend and say, hey, look, if you spend $2,000, you can get a free annual pass again. Just apply that to the renewal cost of your annual pass. Right?
That's fabulous.
What better way to get continued residual business? And then you get the psychological reward of knowing, hey, look, I don't have to pay for my annual pass because I spend so much elsewhere.
Exactly.
Right.
To me, that would be a win-win, Emily.
It is.
I'm liking the way you're thinking, and I really wish Disney would do something on those lines.
Well, the funny thing that I want to point out in this is they're giving us these discounts. At Disneyland, I now have PhotoPass back on. They gave me PhotoPass back, which means it wasn't selling. They weren't buying it. So now it's back on our annual passes.
Well, and Emily's right. Every single private golf club that I know, including the one my parents belonged to for years, they had a food and beverage minimum every month. As
Club
a part of their
33?
membership, they had a food and beverage minimum. Every time my parents were there, believe me, we ate and drank at the club a whole lot more than we did anyplace else so they could meet their minimum.
Yeah.
So be part of the club. Club 33 does that. Club 33 had a minimum spending to enter.
Yeah, well, it's like a fixed price meal
Yeah.
over there. So if you're coming for lunch or dinner in Disneyland.
Yeah. So it's a minimum.
Here in the world, the clubs don't offer meals. They're just
Okay.
light snacks and drinks.
Okay, so no minimum. But minimum for land.
Figure out a way to come back in and attach that. Because
Yeah.
Disneyland, you have to scan your annual pass and they know exactly who is buying what.
Mm-hmm.
We just revisited this at Walt Disney World. They just moved it all over to those digital cards, but they didn't put the technology in to scan it so that they know the value Chad Pennycuff has, because they can track exactly how much Chad Pennycuff is spending.
How am I unfavorable with all the crap I bought? Still.
Oh, yeah.
That's for my forever question. How? What is the minimum? I want to know what the minimum spending is to be unfavorable, because I'm pretty sure I've maxed out the minimum.
Well, I know I'm spending more than the mom who goes to the Dollar Tree before she goes to Disney World for all the treats for her kids that she hides in the bottom of her stroller and gets out when the guy with the bubble wand comes by, because she can't afford the $20 bubble wand because of what they're spending in their hotel every night.
Yes.
Yeah. Emily has this great follow-up comment to this one. She goes, not that's what I want, but at least I could buy an annual pass.
We get it, Emily. We totally get it.
I don't want to spend more money than I have to, Emily. Absolutely.
We totally get it.
That. But I do get what you're saying. And I think that if they actually did track AP spending in world, they would see that we are spending money. I do think that Disneyland is probably a different animal. I mean, there's.
Do I need to show you my $35?
I know. But Gina, I do think that you may be unique or a little bit more, because they're getting the numbers from somewhere.
Well, I spoke to annual pass holders at my work because I want to see if it's just me. Actually, we had the same conversation, and it was, we are buying the holiday merchandise. We are buying all the special event merchandise. We're buying the special event tickets, the hard ticket events. We're going in earlier with our passes and then going to the Oogie Boogie Bash. We're going to the whatever Disney After Dark. We're going to all these things. So I did do a little, let me check with my people. So it's a lot of people spend a lot more money than they're tracking.
Yeah. Christy B says, I'm out of state and have passes in both Disneyland and Disney World. We spend on hotels, meals, and loads of merch. With reduced reservation availability at Disneyland, they've lost a lot of my business this last year.
Yeah, because you couldn't get in. She
couldn't get in. There is a difference between SoCal people who can just pop over the way I can pop over to Walt Disney World. Because I'm trying to think. The last time I went was Saturday, and I rolled into Epcot at 6, did 3 attractions, and spent money over at the mac and cheese booth and a couple of food and wine booths.
Yeah.
Right. So probably spent $20, but I was there from 6 to 8:30 at night, 2.5 hours. Not exactly peak time. The park was empty. And so I'm looking at that going, really, how much resources did I really consume? It's, yeah.
Right.
Bev is saying here that I have a Florida resident AP and MDVC, and she took 4. It's not following the last part of it, but I think you could be referring to you took 4 other people, which is what happened to me a week ago when my best friend was here from Detroit with his family of 5. And
next summer, the 4 Tracys are going and taking 5 Schweitzers, 4 Phillips, and I'm not even sure how many other people yet are still going to tag along on this trip.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I rolled the parks with, this family of 5, I booked us Oga's. We probably spent $150 in there at the cantina. All 6 of us ate at Sci-Fi Diner. That was probably another $150, $200. All 6 of us ate over at Primetime Cafe. That was probably another $200. Like, it's not like I didn't bring people with me and come back in. And they wouldn't have booked any of those 3 restaurants without me.
No, they would eat quick serve, $7, $8 for the kids meal. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
$8 kid meals and $12.
Because they read on the way to bargain your way through Disney site that adults can eat kids meals, and it's just great.
Yeah. Bev is with you. She loves her mommy drinks. And so Nick is saying, totally, Gina, cast compliments are in the Disneyland app.
Yes, thankfully.
He's referring back to your comment earlier on how much we love the cast members.
Yeah.
And we do love the cast members.
And I think they're getting the shaft too.
They are, because we're all mad. We're all angry.
I mean, their hours are cut. They're being stretched super thin. It's not a good situation for most of them either. I mean, Gina, you talked to a cast member who had to have, 3 jobs?
Yeah. She had 3 jobs. This is one of her jobs. This is one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin is saying we've had the Universal Pass, and I pay $15 a month a piece, and he's had it since 2013. There is no bigger fan out there in the DVC community than Kevin McLeod. Like, and you got him going to Universal.
Yep. Yep. 100%. $15. You can't beat it. You can't beat it.
Literally, the self-complained, the self-proclaimed, nobody disagrees with him when he says this, the mayor of DVC, Mr. Kevin. So
no, and he's going to Universal.
It's Christy B saying there are lots of out-of-town pass holders like me that go a lot less because it's hard to book more than 1 trip at a time with only being able to hold 4 reservations.
So true.
And that's got to be for the land side of it.
It's for land,
right? Because the world side, we can make up to 9 days on our annual passes with on-site reservations.
Yeah.
And Bev is saying they can't accurately track what I spend. Sometimes I use a discount. Sometimes I use DVC. But when I'm buying alcohol or quick service, I don't use either. And yes, I buy a lot of mommy drinks. And
that's true. They can't track our alcohol spending. That's true.
They could if they would just build the software
scan.
to it.
Yeah, just scan every time. Let me scan you.
Yeah. And if they would to come back in with some kind of a spending reward for what we spend.
And then more.
Right. And give us like put it on a Disney gift card. Put it on like the Chase Visa reward stuff.
They could just give me a freaking magnet. They could just mail me a magnet to my house and I would spend money. Let's be real.
We appreciate you. That's it. If I get a we appreciate you magnet, I spend more money.
Don't put out the cute magnet at Disney Springs for 1 month when I can't be there.
Right.
You know, if I spend enough money in your parks, go ahead and send me one.
Yeah. Mike makes a great comment here. He goes, if they tracked our spending, they'd see how much my wife spends on those lounge fly backpacks.
100%.
Or the Doonies.
Doonies.
Oh my
or the
God.
Doonies. Yes, yes, yes.
My orange bird Doonie that I carried to church this morning. Come on.
Ron is saying, not to mention if they put a scan system in place, they would be able to control the discounts. So only those who are actually eligible to get it.
there's something to be
Yeah.
said there.
It works in California. They do it because they do scan us. So it does work at Disneyland where they're like, you get 20, you get 10, you get 15, whatever. Not everybody gets the same one.
Yeah. Which, okay.
Yeah.
Why can't, like, Universal gives premier parking, annual pass, right? SeaWorld gives preferred parking to annual pass. Why is it that the top tier at Disney World doesn't give preferred parking?
Here, go park way out there.
Yeah,
way out there. and
With no
walk.
trams because
And
they're
walk.
too
Walk.
cheap to come in and start operating the trams. Okay. At Epcot and Hollywood these days.
Yeah.
So somebody on Facebook with 7 kids, the discounted AP was a big consideration when buying DVC.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's why you get the blue card. Otherwise, just buy resale.
And that's where it comes into that whole loop, right?
Yep.
With the gateway drug.
It's the circle of life, people. And you know what? If you have add-on-itis and you need points, people, stop buying from Disney. Stop buying from Disney until they make it worth it to buy it from Disney. Go ahead and buy from Resale Market. Save yourself a ton of money. And don't give the money to Disney, please.
Right. Exactly. Okay. I'll keep going through these. Oh, he's back, but I'll go through the next one. Oh, and then,
Back.
oh, you're back. Okay. We're just going to go to Nick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Southwest knows how many times I've flown to Orlando. They sure do, Nick.
They
They
certainly do. They have frequent flyer rewards. Why is Disney above any of that?
I got surprised right before we went, after our Disney trip, before we went on our cruise, when we flew to Seattle, I got an envelope in the mail with 4 free alcoholic drink coupons. Good for a year. Because I had built up so many airline miles.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, make me a better mommy drinks on my flight for free? Yes.
thumbs up to that.
please.
Thumbs up to that. Okay. I have to laugh though. Disney IT though.
Yeah, there is true.
That's a big caveat.
True that.
Yeah. Emily points out if AMC Theater, my local grocery store, can track and do rewards, Disney can keep track of my spending.
Exactly.
That IT, though. We're back to that caveat, that IT though.
I use my AMC rewards when I go to Disney Springs for freaking, I mean, to the movie theater at Disney Springs, for goodness
Or
sake.
Starbucks or any of the company that does loyalty stuff.
Right.
Right?
Everybody can do it. Disney, everybody. So it can't be that hard to track our spending.
Yeah. Jake is saying, what about us runners? There's no way I would do all 4 race weekends without his annual pass.
And look at how many of those runners end up buying DVC.
Right. So
because
many.
for the most part, you look, I mean, DVC even has a special runner. I mean, like they had a special runner's deal for a while. I mean, this is.
Yeah, I know.
Hotel
Ryan
revenue.
saying, I'm excited about the villas at Disneyland Hotel. They issued the timeshare license. And so maybe the guides can talk about it now.
Yeah.
Yay.
I'll keep you posted. I'm like, I'll go there next
That's
week.
it, Ryan. We are lining up, waiting for content to drop on this. And Nick is pretty good, who's tuning into the show, about finding it and posting it over into our Disneyland Tower Facebook group as well.
Yes.
So, yeah, Nick does it. Between Nick and Gina, we do a phenomenal job keeping up on the Disneyland Tower news. It's just very low and slow.
Must be
And
But
how
even
sad
though-
is it that we're all going to buy Disneyland Tower? We're all madder than hornets about this. And we're all still going to buy points at Disneyland
And
Tower.
they're not even going to offer they're not even going to offer an annual pass to the people that are going to buy points. That's ridiculous to me.
And yet we're still going to buy them.
I know.
At least some. Okay.
But that's where
Right.
that's where things are going to have to. That's when to make a change. Maybe that's the shoe that has to drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 50-year contract. Bob doesn't have a 50-year contract, so
No.
Maybe he's
there's
gone.
hope there.
And
Okay.
those points are going to sell out like nobody's business.
Yeah.
I know.
That's the only thing I can say in our defense there is Bob don't have no 50-year contract.
Yeah.
So,
That is true.
yeah.
And you know, I'm kind of a Pollyanna. I hate feeling like this.
I know.
People
It's
Pollyanna
terrible.
here just hates it.
Yeah, and Ryan says I own at Grand Cal, but I have to book my trips at the 11-month mark window. So I'm hoping that I can use the Disneyland Tower as more of a last minute 1 to 3 months out as we live in Northern California.
Ooh.
Ryan, I hate to burst your bubble there. There's so many worlders that want to go to the land and so many millions upon millions upon millions of points that are sold to us East Coasters. It's 7 months. If there's a shred of availability, it is gone like that.
It will be gone.
So, yeah.
And I'll be one of the ones jumping on it.
Yep. And Frank22 is saying, I find it insulting that they do not offer an AP to DVC members. It's bad business long-term and creates ill will.
Exactly.
Frank, you just summed up our entire show tonight in one comment. You get the second best comment of the world tonight, other than Bob Chapek is unfavorable, right?
Yeah. Although I don't know, Ron has a comment down here that may possibly go in with this.
Yes, go to Ron.
Yeah. Ron is saying Disney incompetent.
IT.
Right? Yeah.
With the I and the T capitalized.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And then Tony saying that's why they've got us all wrong. They really don't have an accurate, fully way to track their best customers.
Right.
Not here in the world, they do not. Right?
And it's still wrong here because they don't
Yeah.
scan for everything.
Yeah. And that's kind of it for our show tonight. I think we're caught up with our comments here. Just a couple of quick shout outs. We can give Lauren a quick shout out. Thanks for tuning in, Lauren.
Hi, Lauren.
And Frank. And we do think the points are going to sell quick there, Ryan, as well. I'm getting my ducks in a row to buy some. I know Gina is, probably Marianne, and I know a ton of other people are. And we do have a Disneyland Tower DVC group that is forming, right? And so Gina, what are we up to? We up to about 1,000 members in there.
Yeah, we have a
now?
lot of members now. Yeah, we keep adding people. Yeah,
we keep adding people in that as well.
So Marianne and I want to comment on, do you feel unfavorable?
Okay.
Unfortunately, we do.
We do.
Yeah.
Maybe we won't wear our ears quite as proudly as we always have if they don't fix things soon. But ultimately, when it comes right down to it, Pollyanna is still Pollyanna. I still love the magic of when I walk in the doors and I see the castle. I love just the joy on my kids' faces when they're just goofing around, having a good time at Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, I don't know that there's any place in the world that we've traveled that we feel that way. So Disney will still get my business, and it may just not be as often or as long as we've done in the past. And maybe we'll give Universal a little bit more time and SeaWorld and other parks there in Central Florida a little bit more time than we have in the past. But all I can hope is that everything has a time, and this is just a time in Disney history, and that later on we'll look back and go, we survived Bob Chapek's years, and we moved on to somebody new who is going to do amazing things for Disney. And I just hope that the board will eventually see that this is necessary. But again, I still love my Disney.
We love Disney. I don't have all this junk. I don't have my house decorated, and I don't have a magic key because I hate the place.
Exactly. But the best part about it is our community. I think that's one of the things I love most about Disney is the Disney fan community, including our little corner of the world at the My DVC Points community. And guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. Thanks for listening to me whine.
Me too.
And vent. And hopefully it was therapeutic for us all to at least say this. In the coming weeks, we will be back to our normal, regularly scheduled, fan-filled,
happy
game night.
Positive.
Game night's
positive.
Coming, people. Game night's
night.
coming.
Happy positive.
game nights debating the smaller intricacies of fandoms, which restaurants and which desserts and which snacks are better at Disney, and which rides we would fix and which we would tear down, and which we would like offend
Build
everybody
us.
else because their favorite is on our chopping block. So
Game
it's
nights are
coming. We felt as a leadership team here that it was appropriate to come back in and just kind of address the elephant in the room that has been created by some of these unfavorable comments that we have had, including about the size comments and, it would do us better to not eat as much and everything else there as well. Like, come on, guys.
If I don't eat as
Insensitive.
much, then I'm not spending as much, people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. So that's our show tonight, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to World of DVC. And again, if you have really truly lost that loving feeling and it is time for you to take a break from Disney, DVC Rental Store will be glad to help find another family to rent your points, cover your dues, put a little cash in your pocket. And if it's really gone and it is time to just move on in chapters to life, DVC Resale Market is our preferred resale company that's out there. I have bought and sold thousands of points through them. They are phenomenal in all that they do. They will take great care of your family, and I wouldn't have them as sponsors if I didn't really truly know that and believe that in my soul and have that experience with them as well. So thank you for tuning in, everybody, as well. And we will be back 2 weeks from tonight, because we're going to be dark on Labor Day weekend.
Yesterday.
But we'll be back 2 weeks from tonight, and we will be back to playing another happy, fun fandom debate game and
Game night.
doing what we do best
I'm
here,
excited.
creating community. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Night.
Hopefully you did find something in today's show that will be therapeutic and help you find a little bit of magic for your family.
And if nothing else, we're all sending you great big DVC hugs. So
Good night, everybody.
good night.